Welcome to Tea Time with Tawnee. I hope that you're all having a wonderful day. I have this really cute teacup that my girlfriend made me. She has a calligraphy business for my birthday, which is tomorrow, and I thought it would be a wonderful time within our industry and at home to provide you just be creative. I have been in the music industry for quite some years, and a lot of what I do is a demand to be extremely creative. As not just a French horn player, apparently they say it's one of the most difficult instruments in the world. We'll leave that for another discussion. But today I thought touching on a topic of creativity would be a really fun one, because we're home and we don't have many options to go places right now due to, as we all know, this pandemic and the seriousness of it. If you're a younger generational person who thinks that, the summertime right now is an incredibly exciting time to be out and with your friends and at parties and at clubs, try to really embrace a little bit maybe the outdoors this time around, I would say. And maybe if you could possibly within the outdoors go on a boat with your family, if you can have access to that. Go on a hike outside somewhere and go really early in the morning where there won't be very many people out. Spend time with your friends social distancing in nature. I would highly suggest that. That's, I think, one helpful step to being creative. But in that process, I also today wanted to offer some insight into this incredible book that I have, I should say, had the universal pleasure of it running into me, if you will. And it is called Creativity in Business. I wanted to share a couple of excerpts of the book with you today, in case you didn't want to read the whole thing. If you do want to read the whole thing, of course, by all means, please do. But it's basically about finding your passion. And if you're not a business person, I'm here for you today to educate you in how to maybe be creative for your future when you are ready to take on business. If you are a business person, I'm sure you're perhaps curious as to what you could be doing right now if your business is either possibly struggling because of the economy, or maybe you're a professional artist and a musician and you're very concerned about the jobs that aren't coming in. Well, I'm here to share with you that I'm sure many different outlets will say the same, but we probably won't be doing too much live musical work, gigs in public for, I would say, possibly up to the next year. And I think it's really something that you and me and we all together need to look at that and accept it. But I do understand there's some of you out there that are having a hard time finding, your next meal for your children. And there's also people that don't have a place to live. So some of the, the things I want to mention just briefly in this book, I hope will encourage you today to, in whatever your situation or circumstance or living situation is, think about how you could be creative to possibly find your passion. I've talked to so many people who have a very difficult time having a passion, and they're worker bees, which we need worker bees in this world, just as we need entrepreneurs that are here to work really hard to grow an industry, whatever that might be. And within finding your passion, if you're someone whom is an innate helper, who just likes to help people, and you always are coming up with either something new, useful, or helpful to fix someone else's problems, and it's quite valuable in the end, but maybe you didn't really think of it being valuable at the time because it was innately natural for you, I have a secret for you. You're being really creative at those times. And I know it's much easier said than done, to think about it that way. But I want you to start taking on a new perception, a new mood. Look for the new moon. Wake up every day and be grateful that you have your fingers to move, that you can open your eyes and see the sun and the daylight. Stretch, make sure you get your blood flowing, and think about your days as every day is a new perception and a new mood. And try to really go with that on a consistent basis. And I mean, basically, it's a really new need of this movement right now that we're in, for one. And building community, excuse me, and coming together is what I'm working on for you and everyone else. But within the music industry, as so much of what we do stems from what we hear, what we listen to, the mood we're in, and what we choose to listen to at the time to make us feel better, more angry, more sad, hopefully better. And this is the movement we're in, you know? So basically deciding to make a new decision and having a new response to what you're watching, perhaps, because I know there's a lot in the news that you all are watching and feeling a certain way due to what you're seeing. But how about create, you know, the new normal for yourself in the environment that you're in? And I know many of you are ahead of the game as you're doing this, and go innovators, go hard-working citizens of, you know, of your home, of the United States, of course. But it starts with if you in your own home, which I hope you have and you are living in. And we will continue to hope for that. And there's a really exciting organization I've just become a part of. I will share with you in another episode. However, let's continue on I want you to let your creativity determine your path based on many things this book is saying. And there's a wonderful quote from the book I wanted to read from Albert Einstein. So I love to connect the dots and go back in the day of incredible innovators of our time. And he basically quotes, "Imagination is more important than knowledge." We gain knowledge by, either going to school, becoming educated, what our parents teach us, what we decide to read to educate ourselves, whom we decide to spend our time with, whom we decide to listen to, and what we decide to absorb. Now, there are these 5 incredible steps I want to read from this book that I want to help push you in the right direction, encourage you in the right direction, and motivate you in the right direction. And let's say push without being pushy, if you know what I mean. And before I get started, I do need to touch base on the tea that I'm drinking today. And as you can see, I like to have a little hot pot of water next to me with the tea bag or free loose tea leaves of choice that I am choosing to drink that day. And basically it just helps the tea bag last a little bit longer, because most tea actually has quite a bit of flavor for more than 1 teacup. And it stays really warm and I can have it with me. And this tea I thought would be very appropriate for today is called Get Happy. And it's really a yummy tea. If you're a tea connoisseur or a tea drinker such as me, I actually worked at the Ritz-Carlton serving tea to many high-profile clients. And it was such an honor and so much fun. And let me tell you, they compensated me so well in tips for the amount of work and effort, heart and soul that I put into creating a lovely tea experience for them on their whatever it was they were celebrating. Cheers to this tea. I absolutely love tea and I hope you do too. And whether you have this tea at home or not, if you have some peppermint, some cinnamon, anything that's good for digestion and mood is wonderful to drink throughout your day. Okay. And of course, I absolutely love putting honey in my tea. Because who doesn't like a little bit of sweetness? The more natural, the better, of course. Now, here we go. There are 5 essential qualities of something in this book, which we call essence, that helps you to understand the creativity you possess in your very own home every single day. And those are intuition, will, joy, strength, and compassion. Now, these qualities of essence are basically what form your creative base. And I wanted to share this with you today and go into a little bit about each one of them straight from the book. Basically, consider what your life would be like if you lived every moment with what you can have at your beck and call. Okay? So now to go into this. First, your inner creative essence provides the quality of intuition, which is a powerful, powerful essence to touch base with on a regular basis, which is a direct knowledge, basically, or a direct knowing without conscious reasoning. Intuition has always been a powerful mainstay of great business, but until fairly recently, mind you, this book is from the 80s, it has been denied as a business tool in the area of overdependence on analysis. Just think about today and how much this actually possibly could relate. That is no longer true. Business people now speak of intuition with pride. It is considered a mark of management ability. So believe it or not, your intuition can help become manageability in your future, which is really interesting to know, right? So maybe you're not particularly, I need to get my glasses out because I can start to see a little bit better when I wear them. And it's really cool, actually. These are not prescription glasses. These are Tom's, and they're actually the really fancy glass that really helps my vision not to get as tired when I'm reading. So I thought that was a really interesting first essence to share with you all. Now, something I thought was really interesting to also share is many of us are artists, and I'm here, to create more sustainability and longevity in our industry. So I wanted to read to you also, artists would relate intuition to the art principle of design. And the word design describes perfectly what you are doing when you are using your intuition. You see instantly with clarity the design of a solution, a design for your life. And I think all of us really need to be focused on solutions and what we could survive with right now, rather than worrying about really anything else other than staying safe and not getting this virus, which hopefully not very many more people get. And it stops by you staying home and wearing your mask when you go out. Okay. Obviously, intuition alone is not enough, so that's why we have the 4 other essences, which I'm going to share with you. The second essence, which I mentioned, will basically begin to fill in the picture. It is the part of you that can take responsibility. It is the ground of your creative actions. People who are creative in business have a compelling vision or mission, and this exemplifies will. It is most directly related to the art principle of unity. And it does have that characteristic of unifying, giving you a singular purpose to integrate all your creative breakthroughs. And it's so powerful to read this second essence as I have this big goal in the industry, but really to create community and build community no matter where you are. And I thought it was just really fascinating that it's talking about the characteristic of being, becoming a unity and unifying one another and building one another up. And when maybe perhaps, thought for the day, when you have an artist that you see performing in something or doing something that sounds really cool or maybe touches your heartstrings a little or possibly gave you the chills, take 2 seconds to either tag that person in those comments, share it on your social media to the rest of the world, or thank them for providing you that feeling. Those are 3 really simple actions you can take for artists to support the industry, right? It doesn't always start with buying a bunch of merchandise and paying for, shows and tours, which of course without that, we wouldn't have that soul connection in person. But for now, there's a lot of other qualities and efforts we can take on to build a better tomorrow. So with that, we have the third essence. It is most directly related to the art principle of unity. And it does have that characteristic of unifying, giving you a singular purpose to integrate all of your creative breakthroughs. The third quality I wanted to share with you today is joy. Going back to our Get Happy tea and finding your inner joy that we all have. For all the work and frequent difficulty which creativity entails, it always brings a sense of joy. When you get a hint of your own creativity or potential, you always feel this bright, shimmering quality of joy. It is best related to the art quality of balance. When you have balance within yourself and between all part of your life, you experience joy of the flow of creativity. And I just think it's such a wonderful, and I think it's just such a wonderful third essence to understand and to take on. And it's great because there shouldn't be too much thought, which brings you to the things that create joy for you within your own home and your own mind and your own everyday innate activity. The fourth essence, which I wanted to share with you, is the quality of strength. And strength can come in so many different forms. If you're an active person and you like fitness, that's an extremely part of strength to incorporate into your everyday life. So your mind is more mentally focused and stabilized, and you can work better to let your thoughts connect. And it's interesting because I talk about a lot of this in this industry, and I think in maybe one or a couple of my other videos, and the interview that if you haven't checked out, I would love for you to on my channel. I talk about chaotic balance, and it's so universal within what we do in the world of music. We show up for a job looking at music which possibly we've never seen before, with musicians whom perhaps we've never played with before. Of course, it goes both ways. If we're in a professional symphony, we see musicians every day that we interact with, that we correspond with, whom we perform with every day. So there's completely two amazingly different ends of the spectrum, which are both equally important to one another, because that's how the world exists. And we're all able, to perform in many different facets of life for the whole wide world. So it makes it really incredible. But I thought it was really interesting for this, quality, of course, to be about strength. Because without the strength of, perseverance and experience and trauma and what the world a lot of the ways has been going through, but also innovations, explorations, creativity, and having a forward mind to think about tomorrow, a year from now. And within that, creative business people take appropriate risks. Their strength allows them to do that without even seeking risks as risky. This inner strength overcomes fear over time, which so many of us have. And I cheers to those of you who have overcome your fears, because that is an extremely empowering experience. The essence quality is most closely related to the art principle of contrast. Just as an artist, a painter, or a photographer, amateur, even if you're an artist, or a choreographer, or even a composer, relies on contrast to make a strong point. The creative businessman has the strength to be new and different. Relies on contrast to make a strong point. The creative businessman or businesswoman has the strength to be new and different. When new and different is exactly right. You have the strength within you, waiting to be tapped. So I challenge you to explore that throughout this time you have at home. Finally, we can draw on a fifth quality of essence, which is compassion. See my heart? Feel your heart, touch your heart. Compassion to completely bring your creativity into the world. This compassion isn't the mushiness of do-gooders. Instead, it is loving kindness, first for yourself and then for others. When you operate from this compassion, you nurture your own ability, recognizing your own creativity and that of others. It causes you to experience the ultimate eureka, the feeling of I am. Creative business people can implement their creativity so well because they have that confidence in their own creativity and bring it out in others too. Compassion of this sort is best related to the art principle of harmony. And I bring you back to music and all of the gorgeous harmonies you hear when you have compassion. And then you can see how it can create harmony, not only among all the qualities of essence, but also in your business life. So I know there's a lot of you out there whom are working on these individual essences. And I think that that is a really good place for you to be. And perhaps in a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, you are going to have the best business mind because you're developing your own mind and your own confidence and your own will and your own wisdom. And in the meantime, mostly your own creativity. So cheers to that. You know, I love the world. I love the USA. I love all of the other countries that are trying to make their world a better place today and tomorrow. And I offer you a fabulous day. And I thank all of the wonderful gifts I have been receiving, as tomorrow is my birthday. And so I wanted to start this week out with sharing you creativity. So that's the gift I'm actually asking for, is to you and for you to challenge yourself in finding your own creativity today, tomorrow, and every day. Remember, just be creative. I look forward to seeing you on Friday, releasing my featured artist, whom you possibly heard some of this morning with me. Enjoy your day, and I will see you soon.